Hello, welcome back to my shack here in Sweden. I had a thought this morning when I was walking my gigantic and ridiculous St. Bernard that sometimes once you're published, it's good to act like, think like you're still unpublished. Sometimes when you're unpublished, it's good to act like, think like you are published. Let me explain. So first of all, if you are a published author, congratulations, well done. The odds were not in your favor. You're already published. Why is it good sometimes to think like, act like an unpublished author? Because sometimes when you're published, you're 1, 2, 5 books into your career, you're a few contracts in. It's easy to become a little bit jaded. Because you're in the system, you've been in the sausage factory, you understand how it works. And sometimes it's good to distance yourself from publishing, from other people's book deals, from whose books are getting optioned and getting made into blockbuster movies. It's good to distance yourself from that, so you can focus on what attracted you to storytelling in the first place, which is reading and imagining and writing. Sometimes if I find that, for example, writer social media is getting a little bit aggressive, there's some kind of big thing going on Twitter, like that's not, I'm perhaps interested, but it's not going to help me as a writer. So sometimes I'll turn that off for a little while, and what I'll do is I'll go and read a book that I've been desperate to read for a little while, and I'll dive into that world, you know. Or I will, maybe I'm writing a book under contract right now, but I have an idea for a short story, and what I'll do is I'll take myself away, no internet, no phone, you know, spare bedroom, close the door, light off. I'll think through that short story, and maybe I'll write the first line, right? Or I'll write a synopsis of it, whatever. Something I'm excited about. Stories, books, reading. This is the stuff that you are obsessed with when you are unpublished. And then as soon as you become published, it's not only an art and a craft, it's also a business. And that's fine, but sometimes go be an unpublished author again, at least in your mind. Go just focus on the stories. Read stuff you're excited about. Your proofs pile, right? Your arcs that we're all very lucky to get. For those of you who don't know what proofs, arcs, galleys are, they're early versions of a novel before it's published that other authors and journalists and people like that get, so we can read, get excited about, provide a quote if we love it. I get, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 or 15 proofs a week delivered here in Sweden. I can't read them all. Sometimes I'll read back-to-back proofs. I'll read a proof and then a proof and then a proof. And I do that because I want to try to support debut authors, especially in pandemic times. Debut authors need all the help they can get. So if I like the sound of it, I like the cover, I like the premise, I'll go in. If I'm not enjoying it after 5 pages, if I don't like the writing style, I'll just move to the next one. But sometimes I will go back and reread Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist. I'll reread Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. Why? Because I want to be excited about a story again. And I don't want it to feel like it's part of my job. I want it to feel like I'm a 9-year-old kid again, hiding under the covers with a torch, reading a book I'm not supposed to be reading. That is what I try to get back to. Now, on the flip side, if you're an unpublished author, so you're a writer, if you're an unpublished writer, if you're a writer that hasn't yet secured an agent, let's say, why should you have the mindset of a published author? Well, for me, it's just because if you're trying to look for an agent, you're getting into that world. Act like a professional, right? Which means you can still let your personality shine through, be yourself always. But if you're on Twitter talking to agents, talking to editors, talking to published authors, talking to fellow writers, be decent. Like, have some empathy, have some kindness, be personable, be professional, don't be an ass. You'll find if you do that, and it takes you 5 years to secure an agent, which is very typical, maybe a couple of different novels, then by the time you have an agent, you're already in a kind of professional mindset. Like, this is my passion, but it's also now my career or my sideline thing. I hope that's helpful. I think, in a nutshell, if you're a published author, sometimes put publishing to one side and just focus on your love of stories. If you're an unpublished author, act professional, kind of get into the mindset of being a professional author before you've got there. It's a little bit like that very cheesy motivational thing where they say, dress for the role you want, the job you want, not the one you have. Something like that. I mean, another good thing about writing, you dress the way you want. But I hope that's useful, and I'll be making another video again soon, maybe with Bernie. But Bernie's very well, Monty's very well. Hope you're well. Thank you.